The stars were silent that night. A single human diplomatic ship moved slowly through the neutral zone, a place where no warship was allowed. The ship was called Mercy. It was not big, not powerful. It had no weapons, just bright lights on the hull and Earth's flag painted proudly on both sides. It carried ambassadors, peacekeepers, scientists, even a few children. They were going to meet the leaders of the Shirak Dominion, an alien race that had once been Earth's enemy but had signed the peace treaty. The galactic treaty was clear. No attacks in neutral zones, no weapons, and no lies. For 10 years, that treaty held strong. Even after old tensions, wars, and fear, the humans had honored it. They believed in peace. They trusted the aliens. They trusted the words written on a piece of space parchment, signed by many hands, human and alien alike. That night, trust was murdered. Without warning, 5 alien warships came out of slipspace. They did not send a signal. They did not speak. They did not ask questions. Their weapons lit up the black sky like fireflies on a dark ocean. The Mercy tried to run, but it had no shields. It had no weapons. Within 10 seconds, it became a ball. Of fire. No one survived. The only thing that escaped was the black box, the recorder. It floated in space for days, spinning, broken, cracked, but still whispering the last sounds of the ship. Screams, metal tearing. A small child asking if they were going home soon. Then silence. Earth received the signal 3 days later. At first, people did not believe it. It must be pirates, they said. The coalition would never break the treaty. They played the audio again, and again. There was no mistake. The attack was clean, practiced, and military. No pirate group had such coordination. Then came the worst part. Nearby station caught a glimpse of the alien ships warping away. Their markings, they were official. Shirak warships, flagged, identified, not rogue, not pirates, soldiers. The Earth Council sat in silence as the truth settled over them like a shadow. Their peaceful mission had been a trap, a test, a message, one they could not ignore. Earth's president, Amina Kale, stood up in the council chamber, her voice cold and sharp. They killed our diplomats, our children, and they did not even try to lie about it. The treaty is dead, and now so is Mercy. Across the planet, factories that had been shut down after the last war started humming again. Deep under the oceans, submarines that had slept for a decade powered up. On Mars, black forges lit the red dust with fire. Soldiers were recalled. AI systems that had been locked away were turned back on, their minds ticking like clocks. Some cried, some cheered, but everyone understood. The age of peace had ended, but humanity did not scream or shout. Earth did not send threats or public speeches. There were no angry news channels or panicked protests. Instead, humanity went quiet. Too quiet. The coalition watched Earth and waited. They expected outrage, noise, something loud. But all they saw was silence. Diplomats received no reply. Satellites picked up only static. The aliens began to believe humans were afraid, or broken, or weak. But deep under that silence, Earth was preparing. Not for defense, for revenge. A fleet was being built in the dark. Ships with no names. Weapons with no equal. Cloaked programs and satellites started listening, watching, tracking. Every friendly smile from an alien diplomat was recorded. Every ship that entered human space was followed. Plans were made. Plans so cold, so sharp, that even Earth's generals whispered when they read them. This was not just about one attack. This was personal. Back in the neutral zone, a recovery team from the coalition arrived at the site of the destroyed human ship. They found nothing. No bodies, no engines. Just pieces of melted metal and the cracked black box. One of the aliens, a young technician, picked it up and listened to the final audio log. His hands shook when he heard the child's voice. "We're going home now, right?" Then static. He dropped the box. That small sound, a child's voice, echoed louder in his ears than any weapon ever could. He returned to his ship, silent. He did not tell anyone what he heard. But from that day forward, he always looked over his shoulder when he walked down the halls. Something had changed. On Earth, the council was no longer meeting in public halls. They gathered in bunkers deep beneath Antarctica. They spoke with old warlords, with outlaws, with scientists who had been locked away for their ideas. Bring everything back, they said. Even the projects we swore we'd never use again. Project Nightfall, the Valkyrie Protocol, Omega-class drones, words spoken in whispers, now returned in orders. One man, General Tom Brenner, stood alone on a high mountain base, watching a giant machine rise from the snow. He remembered the last war, the screams, the fire, the stars burning red, and now he knew it would happen again. Only this time, Earth would not wait for the enemy to strike first. They already had Dot, and now Earth would answer. One colony on. The edge of human space, Vega 4, held a small group of survivors from a nearby star system. They didn't even know what happened to the Mercy, but when military ships landed, they were told to prepare. Prepare for blackouts, for drills, for silence. War? They asked. No, the captain said. Justice. One boy looked at the sky that night and asked his father, "Will the stars burn?" His father looked up, then nodded. They will. Far away, in a hidden lab, a woman in a white coat stared at an old AI core. It had been locked for 20 years. Too dangerous. Too smart. She hesitated, then placed her hand on the sensor. Welcome. Back, the AI said, waking. Your name is Requiem now, she whispered. And we have work to do. Somewhere else, a human spy sent one last message from inside the coalition. They're laughing. They think we'll do nothing. They say humans are too soft, too slow, that we won't fight back. The reply from Earth came back in one word. Wrong. And then everything went dark. The Earth looked calm from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, city lights glowing gently like fireflies in the night. To anyone watching, it looked like a peaceful world, quiet and beautiful. But under the surface, Earth was burning, not with fire, but with purpose. Deep below the planet's skin, in secret bunkers, giant machines had come back to life. The sound of engines echoed through tunnels forgotten by time. Sparks flew. Metal arms moved like dancers. Forges poured liquid steel into. Deadly shapes. It had begun. The attack on the Mercy was still fresh in everyone's mind. Most people on Earth didn't even know yet. The news channels were silent. There were no public broadcasts. No government statements. The council had chosen silence. But silence did not mean peace. Far underground, inside a classified base, known only as Silo Black 9, hundreds of engineers worked without sleep. They were building something massive, something the stars hadn't seen before. The project's name was Goliath. It wasn't just a warship. It was a moving fortress. Faster. The commander barked, walking between workstations. The frame must be space-ready in 4 weeks. No delays. No excuses. A young engineer, barely 20, looked up. We're using restricted tech. Some of this stuff, it was banned for a reason. The commander didn't blink. We didn't start this war, but we're going to finish it. On the surface, life went on. Children went to school. People drank coffee. Streets were calm. But high above, Earth's moon glowed brighter. Not from sunlight, but from activity. Lunar base Echo, long thought abandoned, was alive again. Drones buzzed like insects over its surface. Supply ships landed every hour. Old railguns were being restored, gigantic cannons meant to protect Earth's skies. Coalition was watching. Their satellites circled Earth like vultures. But they saw nothing strange. No new ship launches. No open threats. Just silence. They had no idea what was happening beneath the clouds. In the shadows of Earth's southern pole, a facility carved deep into the ice worked on Project Wintervale, stealth program for undetectable ships. Their mission, build a fleet that no sensor could trace, no AI could predict. You want ghosts? The head technician asked. No, the admiral replied. I want monsters that don't leave footprints. Back on Mars, the red dust carried the sound of heavy machines. The Martian colonies had once been mining hubs. Now they were factories of war. Dozens of orbital stations were rebuilt to support long-range cannons. They aimed not at nearby moons, but far across space, toward enemy worlds. A message was sent from the Martian High Council to Earth. "We are ready. Say the word." The reply was only 2 words: "Not yet." Humanity wasn't ready to strike, not until the fire was strong. Enough to burn across the galaxy. In another secret lab beneath the Nevada desert, 2 scientists stood in front of a large glass wall. Behind it, a massive engine pulsed with blue energy. "Is it stable?" The older scientist asked. "Barely," the younger one replied. "This kind of power, it wasn't meant for war." "It is now." This was Void Tech experimental slipspace. Engines that could warp across galaxies in seconds. Dangerous, unpredictable, but fast. If successful, it would let human ships appear anywhere without warning. No one would be safe. On a space station orbiting Jupiter, a training program was underway. But this was not normal training. These soldiers were not rookies. They were called the Revenant's elite forces, pulled from every corner of Earth's military. They trained in silence. No music. No jokes. Just combat. One soldier, Commander Rivas, looked at his team after a brutal drill. "They think we're quiet." "Because we're scared," he said. "Let them think that. Because when we speak again, it'll be the last thing they ever hear." The room said nothing, only nodded. Meanwhile, on a hidden listening post near the edge of the galaxy, human spies picked up alien chatter. Coalition officers were laughing. "The humans are doing nothing. They cry over one ship and hide. Soft creatures." The messages were sent to Earth. Every word was saved, played back, studied. Every insult, every smug joke marked. And remembered. On Earth, President Amina Kale walked alone in her office. She watched the stars through her window. Her face was hard, her eyes cold. On her desk was a list of names. The crew of the Mercy. 87 souls. She read their names every night. She picked up a small photo from the corner of her desk. A little girl smiling. One of the children lost on the Mercy. She placed the photo back down and whispered. They wanted silence. We'll give them silence. And in that silence, humanity built their revenge. Back in Silo Black 9, the Goliath's body was nearly complete. The engineers stared at the beast they had built bigger than anything before it. It was not graceful. It was not beautiful. But it was powerful. An old general walked through the room, stopped, and smiled. This is not a ship. It's a warning. Elsewhere, AI systems were being activated. Old mines. Ones that had been too dangerous for peacetime. The most advanced was now online. Its name, Requiem. Objective? Requiem asked, monitor all alien communications. Find weaknesses. Build simulations. Confirmed. I will dream of their end. A second AI, more tactical, was asked a question by its human handler. Can we win this war? It calculated. For 2 full minutes before answering. Yes, but not with honor. Good, the handler replied. We're not looking for honor. Back on Earth, in a hidden chamber beneath the Council's main HQ, the vote was taken. The question was simple. Do we wait, or do we prepare to strike? All hands rose. Unanimous. The fires beneath Earth had grown strong, but still, no human spoke. No message was sent. No declaration of war. Because now, Earth had a new strategy. Strike only when unseen. Burn only when sure. And never warn your enemies before the storm. The file came through a stolen transmission. It was short, only 13 seconds long. A whisper. A laugh. Then a voice, alien, deep, sharp. The humans believed the treaty. Idiots. The pact was never real. The transmission ended. Inside a small human listening post floating beyond Pluto, the analyst froze. She replayed the file again and again. It wasn't just a random voice. It belonged to High Commander Sokvar, the very Shirak leader who helped write the treaty. He had lied. The peace was never real. The mercy was never a mistake. The betrayal had been planned. The analyst sent the file to Earth. A secure, silent message. When it arrived, no alarms went off. No meetings were called in public. Only the Earth Council gathered in a cold, underground chamber and listened. Again and again. Each word was a blade. The Council did not shout. They did not speak at first, but something shifted in the room. Something heavy. General Brenner was the first to speak. They mocked us, tricked us, planned it from the beginning. President Kale nodded slowly. The treaty was a lie. Everyone knew what that meant. 10 years of peace, built on nothing. Every handshake, every friendly deal, every meeting in the grand halls of the Galactic Coalition faked. The aliens had feared humanity's strength, so they wrapped it in a treaty and waited. They smiled while sharpening their blades. The humans kept the peace. The aliens prepared for war. And now the truth was out, elsewhere. The stolen transmission reached another place, a hidden listening station known as Ghost Tower 1, deep in Hin. The Oort cloud, the AI in charge, Spectre, played the audio. The humans believed the treaty. Idiots, the AI paused. Then tagged the message as casus belli, justification for war. Spectre sent its analysis to Earth Command. The reply came back with one word: understood. While Earth went deeper into preparation, human spies activated across the galaxy. They had been silent shadows during the treaty. Now they were knives in the dark. One spy, known only as Grey Echo, operated from inside the Coalition's capital station. He had served for 10 years, played his role, kept his cover. He had access to files no one else did, and he found something. Worse. A document marked Obsidian Directive. It detailed plans for the full removal of Earth's influence within 5 cycles. Military buildup, trade restrictions, assassinations, even controlled uprisings on human colonies. The attack on the Mercy was just the beginning. Grey Echo sent a full data package back to Earth. Then he vanished. No one ever found him again. In Earth's Arctic Defense Complex, President Kale stood before her top generals. We gave them trust. We gave them peace. And they gave us betrayal. She turned to the main screen. The stolen documents lit up names, locations, proof. Not just fighting an enemy now. We're fighting liars, planners, predators. One general spoke, his voice grim. If the treaty was never real, then the war never ended. President Kale nodded. It ends now. Across human space, protocols activated. Colony governors were given sealed instructions. Old stockpiles opened. Civilian ships were upgraded in secret passenger transports, now carried hidden weapons. A ghost fleet, codenamed Phantom Line, began forming in deep space. No signals, no registry. Ships painted. Black, hulls coated in stealth alloys. They were invisible to scanners. Their mission was clear: erase the enemies of Earth without being seen that far away on the alien world of Tevek. A Shirak military leader named Commander Vrual received disturbing news. Several supply ships in outer zones had vanished. No distress. Calls, no wreckage. Just silence. And then a message, burned into the side of a satellite. We heard your lies. Commander Vrual grew nervous. This isn't how humans fight, he muttered. They're too loud, too emotional. His assistant hesitated. They're not like before, sir. The commander stared into space. No, there's something else now. Back on Earth, AI Requiem monitored the stolen data. It processed every plan, every lie, every false promise the aliens had made. Then it made its own prediction. Coalition collapse within 8 months if pressure applied at weak points. Requiem shared a list of targets. High-value worlds, stations with weak defenses. Political choke points. One of them was Karath 6, a diplomatic hub that had once hosted peace talks with humans. A message was sent to Valkyrie Unit 9. Strike plan ready. Begin countdown. Target, Karath 6. 3 days later, the Coalition watched in horror as the entire station of Karath 6 lost power, turned dark, and exploded. No warning. No demand. No claim. Just ash. In response, Coalition leaders panicked. They've gone mad, one shouted. They're animals. No, another whispered. They're finally awake. On Earth, a simple message was sent across all human colonies. No fear, no anger. Just a single line. The pact was a lie. Now they will learn what truth feels like. And in the shadows of space, Earth's forces moved like a quiet storm. Not for revenge, for justice. Real justice. The kind that comes when you have nothing left to lose. The first ship disappeared near the Jean Belt Dot. It was a Chirac patrol cruiser. Fully armed. Advanced sensors. A strong crew. It went in for a normal scan, expecting empty space. Then. Nothing. No signal. No distress call. No explosion. It just vanished. Coalition thought it was a sensor glitch. They sent another ship to investigate. It vanished too. Then a third. 3 ships, gone. No debris. No answers. Only silence. A deep, growing silence. On the Coalition command station, General Yarn stood before his officers, his voice shaking slightly. "Where are they?" he demanded. 3 ships do not disappear without cause. His assistant replied, nervous. "There are rumors. Some say it's the humans." Yarn laughed. "Impossible. They have not declared war. They haven't even responded." But then a new message appeared on their main screen. No sender, no origin, just a few words. "We don't declare war. We end them." That was the moment fear truly began. In a dark corner of space, unseen by alien eyes, Phantom Line moved. These were the ghost fleets. Ships with no transponders, no trails, no broadcasts. They used old jump tech mixed with new AI. They could enter a system, destroy a target, and vanish before anyone knew they had arrived. They didn't leave behind prisoners. They didn't leave behind their dead. They only left wreckage and silence. Captain Rivas of the Phantom Line stood in his command room, eyes on the holographic map. "Our orders are clear," he said. "No sound. No mercy." His crew nodded. Their next target was a refueling station at Ella 3, used by the Chirac military. It wasn't well guarded, but it was important. It connected several outer patrol routes. At exactly 0400 hours, the station's lights went out. Minute later, internal systems failed. Then, the external hull melted inwards from plasma detonators. The station collapsed in silence. No alarm ever went out. 3 hours later, another Chirac supply ship entered the area. All they found was drifting metal, frozen bodies, and a word burned into a surviving wall panel. Retribution. In the Coalition capital, panic spread. "Human ships are attacking us." One general shouted. "But how?" Another demanded. "They're ghosts." "They don't use our systems," a scientist replied. "They are using something older, something primal." A diplomat whispered, "We made a mistake." On a remote planet called Vash Tal, another strange event occurred. A Chirac base received a fake emergency broadcast begging for help. They opened their gates. What they got was death. Black human drones fell from the sky, not with noise, but with silence. They didn't fly like machines. They moved like shadows. They tore through the base before anyone could sound the alarm. Only one Chirac soldier survived. His final report, sent before passing out, said, "They are not soldiers. They are ghosts with purpose." Meanwhile, Earth said nothing. The Human Council never made a public statement. President Kale never appeared on screen. There was no victory speech. No declaration. Just action. Just fire. In the media, people began calling it the Silent War. And they were right. Back in Coalition space, fear began to grow. Commanders started refusing to enter certain sectors. Patrol routes were canceled. Rumor spread. If your screen goes black, you're next. And then came the most terrifying event of all. A Chirac battleship named Judgment went dark while en route to a colony. 4 days passed. Then it reappeared, but something was wrong. The ship floated in space. No power. No heat. No signal. A boarding crew was sent. Inside, everyone was gone. No signs of struggle. No blood. Just a single message carved into the metal floor. "We watched your lies. Now you will watch your fall." The ship was left drifting. No one dared tow it. Back on Earth, Commander Rivas stood alone in a room filled with mission reports. He lit a match and stared into the small flame. "People call us monsters now," he said. President Kale stood nearby, silent. "They're not." "Wrong," he added. "They never gave us a choice," she replied. "They broke the treaty. They took our trust and set it on fire." Rivas nodded. "And now we returned the flame. Across the galaxy, more ships vanished, more stations fell, and everywhere, the same feeling spread. You don't hear the humans coming. You just stop hearing anything at all. It started with a song, a quiet, simple Earth lullaby that no one knew where it came from. It played softly through the speakers of a Shirak warship named Valor's Edge, a ship with high security, unbreakable firewalls, and no human contact for over 6 months. But somehow, the song played. Go to sleep, little one. The stars will guard you. The crew froze. Alien hands rushed over controls. They searched every system. No files found. No signals. No open ports. Still, the song continued. Then came the voices. Human voices. Crying. Screaming. Laughing. And then silence. Right before the ship exploded from inside. No torpedoes. No impact. No sign of an attacker. Just sound and fire across the galaxy. Something new had begun. Humanity wasn't just attacking bodies. They were targeting minds. The Coalition started receiving strange transmissions, not from human diplomats. Not from warships. But from space itself. Ghost broadcasts. They played broken. Messages from the Mercy, the ship that had been destroyed weeks ago. Please, don't shoot. We're unarmed. We have children on board. Why? Why are you doing this? These weren't lies. These were real, old audio files. Twisted, warped, and broadcast on open frequencies. Some came from beacons left in empty space. Others came from hijacked satellites. One even played through a Shirak capital city's public address system. People screamed. Officers panicked. Children cried. In one case, an alien officer named Vel Year was found dead in his bunk. No wounds. No poison. Just fear. His log said, I keep hearing them. Even when the sound stops, their voices crawl into my head. Earth's Psychological Warfare Unit, Echo Division, had been activated. They used AI, sound tech, and deep enemy data to create fear that couldn't be blocked. One operation involved sneaking human drones near a Shirak moon colony. Instead of attacking, they simply projected old Earth battle hymns in the dark. No ships seen. No weapons fired. But the next day, half the colony evacuated. A Shirak captain sent a report to High Command. We are not just losing ships. We are losing control. Our people are afraid of the dark now. At a secret Earth facility called Shade Core, the engineers of fear worked day and night. They used sound. Light. Even silence. One experiment created a looping message that made I go insane. Another caused alien pilots to freeze in the middle of flight simulations. Fear, said the lead designer, is the most powerful weapon humans have ever known. And now it belongs to us. In the Coalition, the damage was growing. Soldiers began refusing assignments in human zones. Commanders left entire sectors unguarded. Some alien species, once loyal allies, started pulling back. One diplomat from the Far Union sent a message to the Coalition leaders. We did not sign up to fight ghosts. We did not agree to fight the dark. We are out. Back on Earth, AI Requiem tracked every psychological operation. It created maps of panic, charts of fear levels, graphs of brainwave disruptions in alien populations. Conclusion, Requiem said. Terror exceeds expected levels. Recommend. Escalation. The Council approved it. The next target was the Shirak ship Pride of the Dominion, known for its brutal commander, Talvik Ron. He had laughed after the attack on the Mercy. Now, it was his turn. When his ship entered orbit near the mining colony of Kever 8, the crew saw something impossible. Above the colony. A giant hologram. A human child, smiling, holding a toy spaceship. Then, as the crew watched in silence, the image burned. The child screamed. The scream grew louder and louder until every screen cracked. The crew ran in panic. Tall Vek tried to give an order, but his voice was gone. He saw one final message on his command screen. We remember. Then the ship's engines exploded from inside. Another victory for silence. President Kale stood in Earth's command chamber, reading the reports. Do they understand now? She asked. General Brenner nodded. They understand one thing. There is no place in the galaxy where we cannot reach them. And what do we understand? She asked. That peace was never real, he replied. Only fear makes them listen. Across alien space, horror spread like a virus. They began seeing human faces in dreams. They heard songs in systems where no humans had ever been. Some said the humans were using dark technology. Others said the humans had become something else. Something beyond war. Something that used silence, sound, memory, and fear as weapons. And one truth echoed in every alien council room. The humans are not here to talk anymore. The alien fleet sent a surrender signal. A blinking blue code. Clear and official. It came from the Zentari Armada, a fleet of 12 ships damaged in a recent battle near the outer ring of I. Sector Veyron. They said they were done fighting. Their message was short. We surrender. We regret the actions taken by our leaders. We ask for mercy. It was the first time since the war began that any alien force used that word. Mercy. On Earth. The council received the message. Silence filled the room. President Amina Kale sat in her chair, staring at the blinking signal. They're asking for the thing they destroyed, she said. General Brenner looked at the others. It could be real. It could be a trap, replied Admiral Yun. The last time we offered mercy, we buried children. The room fell quiet. President Kale stood and walked to the center screen. Send a team, she said finally. But if they raise weapons, leave no survivors. 2 hours later, the Valkyrie 7 response fleet reached the edge of the Zentari formation. The alien ships powered down, floated gently. Lights dimmed. No weapons. Locked on. No movement. It looked real. Too. Real. Captain Rivas, now leading Valkyrie 7, ordered 3 of his own ships forward. They scanned everything. Systems were cold. Energy levels low. No sign of deception. The human boarding teams prepared. They moved in silence, suits sealed, weapons hot. They entered the first Zentari ship. It was empty. No bodies. No crew. Just humming generators and open airlocks. Something felt wrong. A whisper came through one of the human comms. Movement. Then fire. Explosions ripped through the corridors. Hidden cannons opened from inside the ship walls. Drones activated. Energy blades tore through the air. 3 human soldiers died in seconds. The rest pulled back, but it was too late. Across the fleet, all 12 Zentari ships came alive. Their power returned instantly. Weapons locked. Targets marked. It had all been a trick. Back on the Valkyrie 7, Rivas didn't wait. Return fire. Burn them all. The humans responded with fury. The battle lasted 6 minutes. 12 alien ships turned into ash. No escape. Pods. No signals. No mercy. Later, on the return to Earth, a technician replayed the surrender signal. There was a faint delay in the message. It was faked. A hidden frequency behind it. Captain Rivas didn't flinch. Doesn't matter anymore. He opened the ship's internal message system and sent a 3-word update. Mercy is dead. On Earth, the council heard the full report. President Kale addressed the room. Some still want us to act like before, she said. To trust, to hope. But what did hope bring us? She held up the old Mercy Crew manifest again. Death. That's what hope gave us. She looked at General Brenner. From now on, every fake surrender is treated as a weapon. He nodded. It already is. Across human space, new orders were broadcast to all fleets. No negotiations without full disarmament. No boarding unless confirmed by AI. If doubt remains, destroy the threat. Mercy is no longer protocol. In the coalition. The event shook command structures. Leaders watched footage of the destroyed Zentari ships. One commander, horrified, said, "We just proved the humans right. They gave us one last chance. And we betrayed it. But it was too late now." Human soldiers, once trained to give warnings, now fired first. Drones were reprogrammed. No voice recognition. No hesitation. Just cold logic. Humanity had turned off the part of itself that forgave. And in its place, something darker grew. On a far-off moon called Tarani's 9, a human strike team landed near a surrendering outpost. They waited. Watched. Listened. When the alien commander walked out. "Hands up," he said. "We are unarmed." He paused. We truly surrender. There was silence. Then the human officer replied, "You had your chance, on the Mercy." The team raised their rifles. A moment later, it was only wind. Back on Earth, Requiem, the AI war strategist, monitored battlefield data. Its report was simple. Compassion is now a threat vector. Recommend permanent removal. The council approved it. Without a vote dot in the stars, alien civilizations started hiding, pulling back, locking their gates. Even those who had nothing to do with the treaty feared Earth now. They whispered warnings to their children. Do not lie to the humans. Do not wave a white flag unless you mean it. They will not forgive you. Earth said nothing. No speeches. No broadcasts. No victory songs. Just black flags. Painted on warships. No slogans. Just silence. Wherever those ships went, planets grew quiet because they knew Mercy had died, and in its place came fire. The planet was called Eftol Primaris. It was the heart of the old treaty, a place where, years ago, alien leaders and human diplomats once shook hands under 3 suns. They called it the Peace World. They built statues, planted flags, carved their promises into stone. Now those stones were shaking. It started with a shadow. No sound. Radio signal. No message. Just a sudden eclipse over the skies of Eftol. At first, people thought it was just a moon. Then someone looked closer and screamed. It wasn't a moon. It was a ship. A human warship. The largest ever seen. Black as death. No name. No lights. No symbols. It floated silently above the capital city of Asal. Then, more arrived. Dozens. Hundreds. Each one silent. Each one waiting. The people of Eftol panicked. Emergency broadcasts flooded the air. We are not soldiers. We are peaceful. This is a diplomatic world. But the humans said nothing. Not a single warning. Not a single demand. Only silence. Then, the first wave hit. Not bombs. Not lasers. Drones. Thousands of them. They fell from the sky like rain black. And silent. They didn't speak. Didn't hesitate. They began their work. Power grids shut down. Military bunkers were sealed. Airports exploded from within. Communication towers collapsed. Hospitals were spared. Everything else burned. In the main square of Orsal, with a treaty. Stone still stood. People gathered and screamed. Why? We were the ones who wanted peace. A child held up a white cloth. She waved it high. A drone hovered above her, scanned her, didn't shoot. Then it turned and flew away. The child lived, but the city behind her didn't. High above, aboard the lead warship, Admiral Cade watched the destruction. He didn't blink. His officer looked uneasy. Sir, these people didn't fight. They hosted the treaty. Cade replied, Exactly. This place is the symbol of the lie. He tapped a screen showing the original signing of the treaty. They gave us the table, the chairs. The lies. Then he gave the final order. Make them remember. The next phase began. Orbital bombardment. Precision strikes. One by one, every major building fell. Not randomly. Deliberately. The old Coalition Hall. Gone. The Unity Tower. Leveled. The Peace Arch. Melted. In just 72 hours. Eftol Primaris became a wasteland. Not extinct, but broken. Its cities dark. Its people afraid. Human forces didn't stay. They left just as silently as they came. No prisoners. No speeches. Only a single message, carved deep into the treaty stone. You broke the promise. We broke the world. Back in the Coalition Council, panic spread. Footage from Eftol leaked. Children crying under black skies, statues falling, alien leaders screaming, and always those silent. Human drones watching from above. One counselor whispered, This wasn't war. Another said, It was a message. From that day, the name Fithil changed in every language. Not a planet, not a capital, but a warning. Alien parents told their children, If you lie, the humans will find you. If you cheat, they will burn your sky. And they won't say a word. Earth did not celebrate. No news broadcasts. No flag raised. Just one final broadcast sent across the stars. Peace was a lie. Now we speak in truth. Truth is fire. Phthal's skies still glow at night. Ash still falls like snow. And across the galaxy, everyone listens more carefully when Earth is silent, because silence means judgment is coming. Years passed, the galaxy grew quiet, not peaceful, just quiet. There were no more surprise attacks. No more broken promises. No more fake treaties, because no one dared. The coalition still existed, but only in name. Its once proud fleets were scattered, hiding in corners of space. No more patrols near human borders. No more secret meetings. Every time they saw a black human ship on the scanners, they turned and ran, even when Earth said nothing. Especially then. Humanity didn't spread with flags anymore. They spread with silence. They built stations in dead zones, on quiet moons, inside asteroid belts. And no one stopped them, because every species remembered the peace ship Mercy, the surrender signal trap, the fall of Phthal's Primaris. Some tried to forget. Some told themselves that humans were monsters. But the truth was simpler. Humans changed. They had offered peace once, offered trust, and it was crushed. So now they offered something else. Fear. On the planet Orval, a school teacher asked her students, "What do we call the humans?" A small alien girl raised her hand. "The fire people." Another child added, "The ones who wait." The teacher nodded. She pulled down a map of the galaxy. There were stars, clusters, trade lanes, and then a wide black area marked in red letters. Territory of Earth. Do not enter. It stretched far and wide, a space bigger than any empire before, and it was growing. At the edge of that dark zone, a merchant ship drifted too close. Just a mistake. They didn't mean to. They turned around quickly, but something followed them. A single human drone. It didn't shoot, didn't speak. Just watched. All the way home. They never crossed that line again. The United Earth Command didn't need speeches anymore. They didn't need ambassadors. They had Requiem the AI, who remembered every betrayal, every broken promise, every name. It watched the stars, tracked every signal. Waited. If a threat rose again, it would know, and it would answer, without mercy. But not everything burned. Not all humans wanted revenge forever. Some wanted to rebuild. To talk. To hope. And they tried. In quiet corners of the galaxy, small outposts of peace were made, places where no flags flew, where aliens and humans could share food. Music. Stories. But never promises. Never again. One alien elder said, "You can live with fire, but you don't play with it." He looked at the sky. The humans, they don't forget. On Earth, a museum was built. It was called the Hall of Broken Trust. Inside were names of every ship lost to betrayal, every human settlement wiped out during the treaty years, and beside each one, a simple line: forgave once, paid forever. But in the last chamber, there was one message on the wall, written by an unknown soldier. It said, "We were kind. They called us weak. We were fair. They called us fools. Now we are silent, and they call us gods." In the cold dark, stars continued to burn. Planets spun in silence. And across every system, one truth remained. Humanity doesn't ask twice. It remembers. And the stars remember with them. That's how the galaxy survived. Not with unity. Not with trust. But with memory. And fear. Of the day the treaty broke. And humanity's revenge burned across the stars. The end.